wanted wisdom, knowledge, and understanding rule. Today, we're going to be talking about real fathers, real men doing real things. And before I go any further, because I know my guests here are not only real men and real fathers, but they're also husbands and entrepreneurs and, just real men. So they understand why I got to give a shout out, first of all, to my wife, Lady Jennifer, who's not with us today.
Smart brother.
Who's not with us today. So I won't give a shout out to her. Hey, babe, we miss you. Then I got to give my props to one of my guests. Another one kind of running late behind schedule. That's okay. He'll be here. But my guest sitting here, they call him the Don. Jazz the Barber, entrepreneur, father, uh, just a positive influence in the neighborhood. A young man who's a real father, a real man who's bounced back from some ills and harms of absentee fatherhood and things of that nature. We're gonna get into all that later on. Secondly, I want to introduce the anointed apostle, uh, jack of all trades, recording artist, uh, 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 entrepreneur, writer, uh, you name it. As you can see, he anchoring the Rapology show. So I mean, we waiting on what's Micah? We waiting on the other father and real man, Micah. But until then, we're gonna kick this thing off, man. How you brothers doing?
Man, blessed, bro.
Mm-hmm. Sir, glad to be here, man. Glad to have you, man. So, man, just talk to me a little bit, man, because I know your story is unique, man. It mirrors mine. I know your story, man. I know some of your trials and tribulations, but I've also witnessed you personally bounce back, man. And now you're a father and doing things fathers who were absent wish they could have done. Some who had a chance to done and didn't do it. You know what I mean? So talk to us a little bit, man, about the importance, first of all, about the ills of absentee fathers.
Okay. So, man, I'm just real glad to be here, man. I just want to let y'all boys know that. Really. But so absentee fathers, fathers play a pivotal role in a kid's life, man. Especially in the developmental years. You know what I'm saying? That's when it matters most. You know what I'm saying? They need that voice in their ear. You know what I'm saying? And me growing up, I really didn't have a voice in my ear. You know what I'm saying? You might have people who try to steer you and direct you on your journey, but it's different when you got a male figure of dare I say positive male figure, role model or something of that nature to kind of guide you and show you, you know what I'm saying? Hey, give you something to aspire to be or to look up to aspire to be one day. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't had that. So for me, it was a little rough because I wanted to know some things. I wanted to go out there and learn the truth. So that's how that went.
Well, and you said positive role models, man. My background was similar, because I had a I had a male role model in my life growing up, but he wasn't active. He wasn't effective. You know what I mean? So a lot of times fathers can, be there. And let me say this, just because you give birth to a child or impregnate a woman and she brings forth your seed, if you're not actively involved in that child's life in a positive manner, you're not a father. You're not fathering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just there. So our other guest has arrived. Big Mike over here. He's getting himself together. He gonna come on. Bless y'all with some of his knowledge. What's your take on that, Apostle?
Man, that's this is a very, very pivotal topic because man, that's what many of us as men we struggle with. You feel me? As much as tough as some of us we might try to be, we all as men, the way that we were wired from birth, you know what I'm saying? We crave a certain type of instruction that just anybody can't give to us. You know what I'm saying? And so I know we gonna hit on both spectrums of the topic, with fathers and without fathers. And the crazy part about it is that's why young men who grow up without fathers, that's why they buck against the system so hard, because they've lacked that authoritative role or that authoritative figure. So it's like, man, can't nobody really tell, and that speaks subconsciously, right? It's like, and it comes out through actions. You hear me? But I believe, man, I'm convinced with everything that's in me that young men, man, crave that leadership from a father, man. So I'm interested in seeing what it's gonna get down to tonight, man.
And I would say not only leadership, but I know for me, I just wanted the man that was in my life because he had a son maybe about 2, 3 years younger than me, and I would always excel him in whatever, sports, gloves or whatever. I would excel him. All I wanted was his acceptance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Hey man, you're doing good, man.
Yeah.
I see. So when I didn't get that from him, and I went out to the streets and dude was telling me, man, I see you, shawty, I see you, young buck, you know what I mean? I see what you girl. That's what I need. So I flocked to them.
Yeah.
They gave me that pat on the back.
Yeah,
they gave me some approval, some acceptance.
That's it.
Amongst men folks.
Yeah.
That approval piece.
What's your take on that, Michael?
All right, so we're talking about the fathers in the household?
Or not in the household.
Not in the household.
Yes, sir. So we're talking about real fathers, absentee fathers, fathers who are there but not active, and the effects that it has on a young male child, looking for that comradeship.
I think it plays a big role because, me, myself, I was raised without a father, you know what I'm saying? So I think I ran to the streets looking for a way to solve my problems that I was having at home, And I chose the wrong path. And I think I always growing up, I always wondered how my life would have been if I had a father,
Yeah.
That was always in the back of my mind, like, dang, man, I see all my friends, they got their dads, I was like, man, I wonder how my life would be if I had a dad. I probably went to college, probably went to the Marines or something.
Yeah.
So I think fathers is a big role in the household. See, I got my little girl 7 years old, so I'm trying to make sure I'm in her life every day, sun up, sun down,
Yeah, and we're gonna touch on a little bit more in detail later on in the show, but just right now, man, I'd like to commend both of you young brothers, man, because I see you every Sunday, man, at church, man. You got what 4, 5 girls in total with you.
Yeah.
And they all well mannered, one of them just run up to her and time she speak. I don't care where it's at. Girl, we at church, but and that's important, man, especially for young girls, man. And I see this brother here. I mean, his son, man, he don't like women. He like his dad. He like to be around men folk. I'm like, that's my boy right there. What is 2 now?
Yeah, he about to be 3 though.
Yeah,
Next month.
3, man. Yeah, women be like, no, but he come over there, gonna give me some dap and all that, So, man, yeah, but my path is, was similar to that, man, because for me, I still bear them scars, man, of not having a positive male model in my home. Like I said, I had a stepfather, but he wasn't active.
Yeah.
He wasn't effective.
Yeah.
And like yourself, man, led me to the streets, led me to the penitentiary. But here's what's so messed up about it. Brothers in the penitentiary poured into me and gave me that fatherhood role model and steered me straight like I wanted the man in the free world to do.
Man, let me tell you, since you said that, man, I was in the penitentiary, man, and this dude, he did like a little discussion. He was like, man, we're going to talk about something that nobody ever talked about. And it's old school, okay, he probably 55, 57. He said, we're going to talk about dad wounds. Let's say dad wounds. He said, a lot of us in this room, how many of us got dad wounds? Surprising, like everybody up in there raised their hands. It's like, we got questions that we want to ask our fathers, or we got wounds that we got because we didn't have a father. So if you could ask your father, he told me, if you could ask your father anything, or if you could talk to your father, what would you tell him? You know what I'm saying? He told me write a little letter. I never did it because I'm 33 years old. I was like, man, I'm okay with it now. I'm cool with it. If I did see him and he asked me how I felt about it, I'd be like, I forget. I don't got I can't judge you for what you did because I don't really know you.
Right.
So it was just like a lot of us got dad wounds. We need to fix those so we can be better, and what our fathers was to us.
Mm.
Yes, most definitely. Well said. You know, and dad wounds is so real, man. You know, I had an opportunity to apologize to my dad. You know, I was wounded.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, he didn't serve me, my mother, and our family a fair shake, if that makes sense. You know, he drunk all the time, he was abusive. So my mother packed up and turned it out, man. With 5 kids in total, by herself, 28, 27 years old. You know, so when I got older, like you, I was in my 30s, he's trying to explain to me, and I'm like, dude, it's time out for that. You know, and so we fell out for about 10 years. But when I finally came to it, I'm like, man, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't know what transpired between them. But I'm gonna try to, make
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
You know, but we finally made the peace, man. 10 years, within 10 years later, about 6 months later, man. I mean, we didn't talk and communicate for about 10 years. 6 months later, he died. So because of my dad wounds, that's 10 years I missed. You know, so but on the flip side of that, man, I was out of my son's life doing his growing up stages, man. So history has a way of repeating itself. He suffered uh, dad wounds that I imposed upon him.
Yeah.
Here's my thing to fathers out there, man, who feel like, it's too late, my son gonna reject me, this, that, and other. That's cool. But you still make that effort, man.
Yeah.
When I first pulled up on my son, we made peace, but he let me have it one time. I couldn't do nobody that.
Yeah.
Because he was right.
Yeah.
You let me hang it.
Yeah.
So I mean, come on, man. Real men, real men.
Real men take care of their responsibility.
Yes, sir.
And then, like you said, Alfred, like, man, I remember one time, man, my son mother, she was hard, you know what I'm saying, but she was bitter, you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I was going through the emotions, going through the roller coasters with her, and one time I was just like, man, I'm finna just not communicate with her no more. I'm like, I'm finna cut her off and just say F the little nigga.
Yeah.
But then I was like, so what if he grow up and asks me, Dad, why I don't know you? And I'll be like, man, your mama made it hard for me, bro. I just quit. How he gonna accept that? You feel me?
Right.
So I was like, man, I couldn't. I had a conversation with myself, and I was like, man, I can't do that to him. I'm just gonna keep on putting that effort in.
Yeah.
And I started killing her with kindness.
Yeah.
And bam, she came along. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it took about 6 years, 5 years for me to get on her good side.
Yeah.
Let me
Go ahead.
let me ask this question then, man, because like so now that we're older and we consider things, right? Because when we was young, man, we weren't considering how important is it for us as men to really consider the woman we about to lay down with and have a child with. How important is that?
Wow.
I think it's that I was gonna kind of go there with my next statement because every time situations come about, whether it's a toxic situation or it's the daddy ain't gonna be around, like the last person that people think about be the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People don't really think about the kids, like you know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important to consider who you laying down on both sides, on the men's side and the women's side, because at the end of the day, your kids gonna have to pay for your mistakes, bro. Like even if you don't want to call it a mistake, but let's just be real, like your kids gonna have to pay for your decision making. You know what I'm saying? And people don't really think about the kids. People will be like, oh, dude telling you he don't want to be a daddy and this and that, and now you raising the kid into a situation that's already has no foundation because the man don't want to be there or the man don't want to have a kid with you. He didn't see himself being with you in that way. He just probably wanted you for the night, and now y'all finna into a whole situation with no foundation, with no legs. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to be together, and the kid gotta suffer because the kid gonna be in between y'all. And people don't really think about the kids until, now the kid acting out. Now the kid is lost and he lost in the sauce. He don't know, you know what I'm saying? He trying to find his identity. You know what I'm saying? He going through a whirlwind. That's because he really was raised under a situation that had no foundation. You know what I'm saying? So we got to think about these kids that we bringing into the world. And you definitely got to consider your partners. You know what I'm saying? People got to have more discipline, man. People gotta have more discipline out here. It's just a free for all, man.
Nah, that's for real.
Wait, go ahead. Let me interject right quick. I like the way you put that, man, because I remember I asked my son, I'm like, man, you getting older, man. When you gonna give me some grandchildren? He said, man, wrong question. Ask me when I'm gonna get married.
I remember
I'm
that.
like, man, that's why, I'm like, well, you all right with me, boy. Your daddy's so for real.
Yeah, somebody told me one time, they was like, I told them I'm 39 years old, I got a 2-year-old. And they was like, you had your first baby at 37? I was like, I wasn't married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't married, bro.
Yeah.
Like that was something one of my mother's teachings that stuck. Like have a baby with a woman that you want to marry, bro.
Nah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? That was one of her teachings that stuck with me. And I always, I'm blessed to get out of certain situations that I was in, you know what I'm saying? Because, I was running wild for a minute, but yeah, I'm cool now. I got my foundation.
That was the exact word I was looking for, man. So many of us, man, we don't understand the importance of a foundation. And now that we are older, you know what I'm saying, we're trying to lay it down and we're trying to establish some things now. But many of us, we wasn't building on solid foundation. And the conversation is well rounded this evening. You feel me? But before we get into the well roundedness of the conversation, man, I want to give these brothers an opportunity to let everybody know, well, where y'all at, man? Where y'all at what y'all do and where y'all at in the city, man?
Okay, so I'm Chaz, man. I'm a master barber at Royal King Cut Studio. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm Michael, man. I'm a barber also, and at World Kings Cuts. You can follow me on Instagram at YUNG Michael MICAH. I'm only appointments only, man. I don't do no walk-ins.
Oh man.
Let me ask this right quick. So we've talked about not having fathers and positive figures in our lives. We've talked about being in the system, going to prison, this, that, other. Y'all talking about y'all got entrepreneur things. Y'all people got to make appointments to see y'all. Talk to me about the bounce back. I mean, what inspires y'all to bounce back and get on your feet, not let the past haunt you.
Yeah. All right. So the bounce back. First of all, I had to bounce back a couple times.
Yeah, I was gonna say
what I'm saying.
That's okay though.
I had to bounce back a few times, and a couple of times I bounced back wasn't really in the right direction. I really was on a crash course then, still, but like I say, God bless me to get up out of some situations, bro. You know what I'm saying? So when it's different when you bounce back the right way, though, bro. It ain't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And like coming from our type of background where we come from, like it's nothing to bounce back. That's nothing. But bouncing back the right way is a whole different beast, bro. You know what I'm saying? And when you get the ball rolling on a good note, man, you feel so much better, 10 times better. But you definitely gotta just, practice patience. Everything ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen for you overnight. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put your feet down on that blacktop. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta have it on your mind. And sometimes I battle with that. I gotta have it on my mind, like, 'cause being an entrepreneur, bro, you don't feel like all the time mashing and promoting, and you don't always feel like it. Some days you want to just sleep in the bed, or some days you want to just chill. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta work. You gotta work 2 times as hard as the next person. So you gotta keep on mashing.
Yeah, that's real.
I say that basically Chad said, like, being where we come from, we've been bouncing back the whole time. Our background is, you know what I'm saying, we didn't fail before and got back up. So I was like, I'm gonna say that man, I be trying to be focused because I be having so many ideas I be wanting to do, but I gotta just put my main focus on one thing first and be as successful as I can in that before I venture off into something else.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now with putting God first too, because I wouldn't even be here without God. That's about it right there.
Come on, man. Nah, that's for real, man. That bounce back, that plan, writing the vision, making it plain, and going at it, man. That is very pivotal And that plays another role with having male figures in your life. You know what I'm saying? Having those people in your life that's able to tell you something, because especially when you coming up and really doing it on your own, it's really hard for us to really receive something from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But to remain humble in that aesthetic and to really just allow the wisdom to come in. And so when I was talking about the conversation being well rounded, I was one that grew up with my father. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with Pops in the house. Now, was Pops always doing the right thing? Nah, man. Nah. Some days, man, we had some mornings we used to have to go find what trap Pop was in. You feel me? And he in there hiding in closets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Tell her I ain't here. But I said that to say this here. It played a major role because, man, to me, bro, like in the eyesight of a little dude, bro, it don't matter what Pop's doing. Pops cannot do no wrong in your sight. You know what I'm saying? Pops coming home, man. Pops was messing up big time. You feel me? But man, I seen Pops. You know what I'm saying? And it was a point in a period in life to where, man, Mama and them, they had to make some decisions to where they actually separated for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But in that separation, Pops went ahead and got it together, and he came back and got the family. You know what I'm saying? And so the difference that it made was, man, I always had something to aspire to. You know what I'm saying? And the mistakes that he was making, it showed me the mistakes that I didn't want to make when I grew up. You know what I'm saying? And so, like right now, today in the life of my son, man, since he 23 now, you feel me? And it's just always been to have that consistency in his life. Because like I say, Pops wasn't always doing the right thing, but he had a consistency of showing up. You know what I'm saying? And nothing else even mattered. And see, a lot of times what we fail to realize is that sometimes with fathers, that guilt fall on them. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they know they could be doing more or they could be doing better. And even as a little kid, we gotta begin to encourage the fathers. You feel me? It's like, man, nah, Pops, you doing good. You feel me? Because there used to be times where I'm like, man, we stayed down the street from a park. You feel me? I'm like, well, Daddy, man, take me down there to the park. You know what I'm saying? But Pops never liked doing nothing if he ain't had no bread. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, well, man, wait till I get some. I'm like, man, we ain't gotta have no money to go walk to the park. And I said that to say, like, man, fathers, man, some of these jokers just sorry. I'm gonna be honest with you. You feel me? Some of these boys just be looking for excuses. But and it's like I told my son the other day. You feel me? I say, listen, man, the main thing, because I'm a grandfather. You feel me? And I told my son, I say the main thing. It don't matter whatever anybody got. If your baby mama got something to say, her people, your people, what anybody got to say, you just make sure it's not true. Yeah. You feel me? So if somebody call you sorry, you just make sure that it's not true. Somebody call you trifling, you make sure it's not true. You feel me? But if it is true, man, you gotta own that. You feel me? You gotta own that. And so the importance of having a father in the house, man, is very pivotal. You feel me? Because believe it or not, it teaches us as young men how to accept instructions, how to receive authority. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just something. I just think we wired like that, bro. To know, man, like having the presence of a father teaches us how not to buck the system. You feel me? Yeah. And so, man, that's the role. Like I said, man, my pops, he went home, he went to glory in December, you know what I'm saying, 2024. And man, I was with him every single day. You know what I'm saying? We work together. We got a construction company. You feel me? So I seen Pops every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, and I'm the oldest of 11. All 11 of us grew up in the same house. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine I came out and Mama didn't work. Pops had to, provide, and he did it with motion. He did it with it looked as if he did it with ease. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just wanted to say, man, to all the fathers that's listening now, man, I know Mother's Day is coming up. I don't know why Dr. Oswald picked this song for Mother's Day weekend.
Well, and I'm glad you opened that door right there.
Let me respond to something he said real quick, because I was gonna bring this up. It's one thing to have an absentee father, but it's another thing to have a father that's there, but he just not ready yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because my mama was young and my daddy was young when they conceived me.
Mm-hmm.
And my daddy, he was 19, 20. He wasn't probably ready. And I even told my daddy, like as I got older and we got to meet and talk, and I told him, I say, man, maybe if you was around, bro, I probably would have been 10 times worse than what I was, because I was a bad boy.
Yeah.
But I was like, I probably would have been 10 times worse, because if you wasn't ready and you was doing these things and you was taking me to see these things, and you know what I'm saying, you riding with your son and you running the streets and handling your business, then I would have been soaking all that up. I might have jumped off the porch earlier. I might have been into a little more than what I was into.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to have a father that's not there. It's another to have a father that's there that's just not ready yet. You know what I'm saying? And even with that, like you said your dad was, you know what I'm saying, he was a rolling stone. He was handling his business, but it's still subtle things that he was instilling in you. Even if he, like when you said he didn't like to do no extracurricular if his money wasn't right.
Right.
So that's showing you, like, prioritize getting his money. Even though it ain't finna rule your life or nothing, he's showing you as a man needs to be able to provide, a man needs to be able to make money.
Yeah.
So that's, as a kid, we gonna say, oh man, but the basketball court right there. But as you get older, you like, man, I gotta get to the money. Like daddy instilled that in you. You know
That's
what I'm
real
saying?
tough.
To get to some money. So.
Yeah. Nah, that's for real, man. And two, man, just to feed off of that, because man, it really points us back to a direction of do's and don'ts and wills and won'ts, so to say. You know what I'm saying? Because like man, we could see what we see, but it's gonna trigger something in each of us. You feel me? Because it had to be something that you witnessed. Because if Pops wasn't there, something that you witnessed, you're like, man, I don't want that. You feel me? So now I'm gonna press to be in the life of my children. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep my children with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait till I'm married. Something was instilled. You know what I'm saying? But now it's a testimony because y'all are men now. You know what I'm saying? And you're able to stand up. And like, man, this is what men do. You know what I'm saying? This is what men do. And like you said, it could have been 10 times worse, especially if Pops wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. If Pops wasn't ready, then man, you could have initiated. But man, I think I thank God for plans and purposes.
Like, see, that's another thing they was talking about. They was on them dad wounds. It was like, man, we really can't fault our parents because some of them wasn't even ready.
Yeah. Come on, man.
They wasn't even ready. They parents didn't even show them the right way. You know what I'm saying? Or they probably ain't had a foundation in their household. So
And to be real, that's one thing that I had to learn personally growing up. You feel me? I had, at a young age, I had to analyze, man, Pop's only doing what he knows. You feel me? So if we got somebody and Pop's done skated, you feel me? Then we got to look down that line to see, man, did his Pop skate? You feel me? And because most of that stuff is repetitive cycles, you know what I'm saying? And so we have to grow up into that understanding like that, you know what I'm saying? To know, like, man, why did you make the decision that you made, you know? And then too, I think you hit on it, like, man, I'm walking in forgiveness right now, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't none of us perfect. As much as we want to be, you know what I'm saying? And we're not going to play the blame game, man. Your mama did this, your mama did that, your mama killed. Like, cause man, I tell my son all the time, man, like, listen, bro, look, the women don't always win in the courthouse. You feel me? The women don't. You just got to be prepared to go the distance. You know what I'm saying? They don't always win. But man, saying that to say this here, we have to begin to look down the line to see, like, man, what happened? You know what I'm saying? What happened? And when we begin to understand that, it really allows us to walk in a state of maturation as men to say, man, listen, Pops, man, listen, you here now.
Yeah.
That's what matters. You here now, because eventually, man, Pops got his life together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Man, we didn't have to go find Pops, man. Pops got his life together and he came and got his family. And man, like, bruh, and now it's such a greater inspiration. And believe it or not, bro, all of the shortcomings that happen, you really forget about all that. Yeah. You feel me? You really forget about all that. But yeah, man, it's blessing me, bro.
But you know, I think one of the things, man, that led to all of us that came up, you know, following this, been through the system, trying to find our way and things I think one of the things I know for me personally what contributed the most My bouncing back
Mm-hmm.
is when I was coming up, man, and I feel like I was being neglected and emotionally abused and overlooked, by my stepfather wasn't there, just that. I always told myself, man, I said if I ever have a son, I'm not gonna treat him the way I was treated. So when I got locked up, that was my motivation. I'm like, man, I got a son out there, man.
Yeah.
If these folks ever slip up and open them doors, I'm gonna spend the rest of my days with my son, man. And all praise be to God. I've been out here 11 years now.
Come on, man.
I meant that,
Come on.
But I honestly see my son walking in everything I ever walked in.
Come on.
Everything I ever wanted to walk in. And that's why I remind him all the time, man, you're my biggest hero, man.
Yeah.
And I think my absence in his life has given him that inspiration to be the best father he can be.
Come on, man.
Yeah, because he on his grind, for his son, man. And I think so. So as fathers, man, we got to get away from the blame game, like you said.
Yeah.
Because you can find something good in all that. It's just how you take it,
Yeah.
I remember when I was locked up, before I got out, man, about 2-3 years before I got out, I wrote down. I used to rewrite it almost every 90 days. A 7-year plan of success. What I wanted to accomplish in 7 years when I got out. A stable job, home, car, all that. Didn't take me 7 years. Took me 9 years. But I stayed focused on it. So you got to have that commitment when you say you want to be a father. Like this brother here was saying, I want to get married first. I don't have a problem waiting until I'm 37. I'd rather get married at 37 when I'm stable, when I'm committed. I'm mature enough to commit to a relationship. Than doing it at 27 or 17 when I ain't.
Nah, that's real talk.
Come on.
That's real talk, man. And then, man, when you came with that topic, man, I was just looking at on 2 Corinthians chapter 6, man, about a promise that God made. You feel me? And man, believe it or not, man, God plays a major role in our walking. You feel me, man? Because I've been convicted dealing with my son. I've been convicted so many times. You know what I'm saying? When I want to just get stiff with him. And I'm reminded, man, what if God would have got stiff with you and when you did this here? What if God would have turned the deaf into you when you did? What if God would have said no every time you called out and cried out because you felt like you needed something? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I was looking at 2 Corinthians, man, chapter 6, verses 16 through 18, but particularly verse 17. I started 16 for the word. It's a promise that God makes. You feel me? I've been trying to figure out where that feedback coming from, man. It might be one of these phones.
There you go.
Man, it's been you the whole time, bro. man, I've been looking for stuff, man.
I've been seeing your inside.
Yeah, I'm like, where is this coming from, man? But look, the promise says this here, man. What agreement has the temple of God with idols? For we are the temple of the living God, as God said. He says that I will make my dwelling among them and walk among them and will be their God, and they shall be my people. The word of God says that, therefore, go out from their midst and be separate from them, says the Lord, and touch no unclean thing. Then I will welcome you, and I will be a father to you. I will be a father to you. And so just to give a little context to what this is saying, it backs all the way up to verse 14 where he says, do not be unequally yoked, right? And that's not saying how believers can't communicate or deal with unbelievers. It's saying that as a believer, you have a way of thinking in God. You know what I'm saying? And so what that is actually saying is you can't allow the world's way of thinking to influence you and your decisions. You feel me? Because let's be honest, the world says wrong is right. And right is wrong. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But God tells us what right is. And so he's saying you can't be influenced like that. So that's what he means when he says don't be unequally yoked. But what stood out to me was the promise. He says that if you come away from the thinking that tells you that I'm not who I am and I won't be who I am to you, then he says, don't entangle in that. He says, I will be your father, right? And it made me look at, man, the roles of a father. And I wanted to pose that question, man. What are the roles of the father? What does the father do?
As far as for the kids, right? Because we're talking about
for the family. For the family. Yeah. That's still your phone.
I put it over there. Somebody else got the phone. Michael?
Oh, I ain't know. Mine ain't know.
You sure you ain't got your phone on?
Mm-mm. You sure they ain't one of them knobs? I see you turn on knobs and it started coming. And the feedback started coming. don't know.
That's some Spanish,
I
right?
hear Spanish music.
Hey man, I don't know, man. Y'all excuses, y'all. We got a couple of technical difficulties. We try to silence this thing, man. I don't know what that is, man. Let me see if I got some stuff running in the background.
Now, you got somebody right here.
Oh yeah?
Some Spanish though.
Okay, that's not
Somebody out there?
But it's still lagging though.
Yeah, it should be like that.
Yeah, man. I don't know what in the world. But I mean, we in it now, so I guess we shouldn't have never said that.
Yeah.
I just 1 2.
1 2.
Still here. Okay, some running in somebody's background. Okay, but man, just the roles of the father.
Father played many roles. You know what I'm saying? They wear many hats. Of course, you gotta lead your household.
Mm-hmm.
In principle, you know what I'm saying? You gotta give them the game. You gotta game everybody up. You gotta game your kids up. You gotta game your wife up. Your wife your second in command. So y'all gotta be on the same note.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, you gotta provide and protect your family. That goes without saying. What's happening? Oh, that's you.
Oh, you over there with the
That
Spanish.
was you.
Oh my God.
That was you.
We're gonna crank the Spanish class back up for you.
Hey, listen.
We'll get you.
Well, we found the problem. We found the problem. My bad. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, you good. But yeah, of course, we know you gotta protect and provide for your family, man. That's just part of it. You gotta be there, man. You gotta be that rock that everybody leaning on. You know what I'm saying? In the household, you gotta be that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask you this: when you say that rock, are you saying that there are times when it's okay or it's mandatory that you have to be a little stiff, put your foot down when you feel as though you got to keep law and order in your house?
You gotta keep law and order going on.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the punishment gotta fit the crime. You know what I'm saying?
But break that down, man.
Yeah, you got the punishment gotta fit the crime.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That just come with you know what I'm saying, keeping everything in order, keeping everything structured.
Yeah. Is that was the four main pieces because when I think about God, you know what I'm saying, and it's like I'm not trying to over spiritualize anything, you know what I'm saying, but we got to keep first things first. You feel me? Because if we're not as men, if we're not seeking leadership from the Father, you know what I'm saying, we're not gonna be able to lead them.
Right.
And and if God gives us the blueprint, then what is that blueprint? One, He says, "I will love you. I will love you," and that's our commitment to our family. Like, listen, but there's nothing we can tell our children. Listen, bro, there's nothing you can do that can separate my love from you or separate you from the love that I have for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many times you mess up. You might let me down, and I might be disappointed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna catch my head and I'm gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? Because the craziest thing happened, man. I lost my father in December, but now I get to see more of my son. You feel me? On a work blast, you know what I'm saying? Because he right there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, like I'm driving, man. He over there asleep, you feel me? And I'm like, I remember them days. I'd be riding with pops, and I'd be like, man, tripping, not even realizing how much game I could have been soaking up right then. You feel me? But God says, I will love you. God says that I will provide for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what fathers do. And that's what we pride ourselves on, being able to provide. You feel me? And not just on the financial end. We got to provide everything that's needed. Then God says that I will protect you. I will protect you. You know what I'm saying? That's what fathers do. That's what fathers do. And then God says that I will correct. That go. The punishment got to fit the crime. I will correct and discipline you. You know what I'm saying? I can't beat the brakes off you. You know what I'm saying? Because you did such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? You're gonna get the brakes beat off you if you do such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? So let it be known. And so sometimes you got to be stiff. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be an unmerciful stiff.
Yeah. Prime that. What you got to say about that, Mike? You got to keep the balance. Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of old at heart, man. I barely discipline my kids, you know. I mean, I probably raise my voice at them, and that probably get them straight. But I'm Oh, I'm tired. I ain't got
Yeah,
no energy no
you're wrestling
more.
with you.
Yeah, I ain't got no energy. Go talk to your mom.
Yeah.
To build on something, you still talking.
How about you?
To build on something you had said though, you know what I'm saying? That's why I got baptized recently. You know what I'm saying? I've been baptized before. You know, I've been baptized when I was like 12, but man, I done did so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
since then.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But I got to a point where I felt like for my family, bro, like I want to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand too, it's a hierarchy too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing about us as men, we understand it's a hierarchy. So if I'm the head or whatever, I'm the lead. If I'm to lead anybody, especially my son, my wife, I feel like I should be taking direction or guidance from something
Yeah.
bigger than myself.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like it end and it stop at me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It got to be something greater than me that's giving me guidance.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? That's giving me direction. So I wanted to like, you know what I'm saying, lead by example and
Mm-hmm.
get baptized just to show my submission and that show that it is something greater than me.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? That's who I get my direction from. When I said I wanted to get baptized, my wife was like, "Well, I'll do it too." You know what I'm
Come on,
saying?
man.
And that just showed me like, okay, so I'm doing the right thing. I'm leading by example because when they see you walking like that, and now she wanted to do it. So we got baptized on the same day.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
And that's how that go.
Yeah.
As fathers of men, man, that's how that goes. You know, we have to lead by example. You know, every leader has a leader.
Yeah.
Even in pastoralship, every pastor has a pastor. If you have a pastor and he don't have a pastor, bro, I don't know how much longer you gonna
Right.
be my pastor.
Yeah,
You
right.
feel me? Who leading you? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that's the way that God has designed the
Mhm.
whole grand schematics of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So man, as a father, you know, man, when if something's not right in the house, you gotta check you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I remember reading a book, man, on Dr. Tony Evans, the Kingdom Man, right? Man, he say, listen, bro, if it's going wrong, that's your fault.
Yeah.
If it's going right, that's your fault. You feel me? He say everything is going to always stem back to you. You know what I'm saying? And man, listen, and women, one thing I found out, bro, like I was talking about how we're wired as men and we look for instructions, we crave that as men, you feel me? As boys to men, we crave that. Women look for leadership.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The strongest woman will follow as long as you're giving her something to follow.
Yes, sir.
Like all that kickback and that resistance and stuff, women resist when somebody blind trying to lead them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, man, when you kill all the games, I mean, you could do your best to manipulate, but I don't want to lead through manipulation. You feel me? Because that if you lead through manipulation, you might as well just go sit and talk to yourself all day in the mirror because like, nah, bro, I want to lead how God is calling me to lead. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to lead no other way. You know what I'm saying? But man, to be honest, man, like what you were saying, man, that leadership role, I have to lead by example. So if I don't know what to do, man, I gotta find somebody that do know what to do. So I can implement and even imitate until and because that's what we do in life. We imitate what we see until we can own it, bro.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You could teach me something, bro, and I'm gonna do it the way you taught me to do it until I can master it for myself. You know what I'm saying? The principles are the principles. The principles is what causes it to work. But I have to begin to twerk it and tweak it and make it mine. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, man, we gotta lead. We gotta lead by example.
Let me answer the question you asked me earlier. You said, I don't know why I'm afraid of Mother's Day, but I just want to bring up a topic like that, man. It's not off the real. I should, you know, uh, is doing what it's supposed to do out there on the airways, But I chose this topic, man, in the midst of Mother's Day. Shout out to all the mothers out there. Love y'all. Never replace y'all. But by the same token, it comes a time we got to recognize these powers that's really in the paint. Stand up back, and I was telling my sister earlier, I was like, what breaks my heart is that when I see athletes and things getting accolades, man, getting these awards or whatever, every film say, man, I want to acknowledge my daddy. being in my life. I always say, Mama, well, we did it. Mama, I love you. I want to give props to my mom. We got more. I always love my mama. She, mama, always, we ain't got too many, songs out there, giving props to the fathers who stood up, man. Man, that's going to this, man. So this goes back to you, Apostle J,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I appreciate you, man. You dropped
Uh-huh.
the song, man. Is it really has been released yet?
Yes, sir. It's been released, man. It's been released,
Go
bro.
ahead and tell us about
Well, that song was a tribute, man. You talking about the I Miss My
it. I
Daddy?
miss my daddy, man.
Yeah, that song was
Yes,
a
sir.
tribute, bro, to my pops, man, because man, like it's real. Anybody that still got their daddy, you feel me?
Yeah,
Like man, pull and glean from him. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I lost my pops in December 21st, 2024.
yeah,
And man, like, bruh,
yeah,
it get rough.
yeah,
It get rough when you
yeah,
grew up with him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You done seen him every day. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like man, and I know that is a privilege because many of us don't have that testimony. You feel me? Like to see it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? To have somebody in your life, you feel me? That man, like I get choked up just thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So the song, man, is really just a tribute to my pops, and the name of the song is called "I Miss My Daddy."
yeah.
You feel me? Because
Nice, nice.
I can't lie about that. You know what I'm
Real.
saying? Like man, bro, like there is nothing I can do that won't cause me to consider how he would do. You feel me? Like, man, pops, how would you do it? You know what I'm saying? And like even with him showing up in dreams, you feel me? Because like I said, we work together. Him showing up in dreams and like saying it's just weird.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
nah, it
yeah,
ain't weird. It's deep.
yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
really
I can't
godly. It's really godly, though.
come on,
Real
man.
godly,
Boy.
man.
Thank you, Lord.
And that's what touched me so much, man. Because like I was telling y'all earlier, you know, uh, with my hard headedness, man, my lack of foresight at the time, I broke off a relationship with my dad for 10
Mhm.
years.
Yeah,
And then when I, really came to my senses and made peace, he died 6 months later. So all my history on his side of the family, amongst the many folks, died with him.
come
I
on,
don't have none of that.
come on.
So when I meet my son, I'm like, come on, we go to Cali, and I leave the room, and my people just, man, your daddy did, I didn't leave the room. But
Yeah,
I feel like it's important that he knew that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that gives him some type of foundation of some history to build
No.
on, some roots, man.
Nah, that's for real, man.
Yeah, man.
And so it's like, man, yo, we most definitely, man. I just thank God for this opportunity. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And then even for stepfathers, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stepfathers who step in, bro. It's like, man, and especially the ones who don't come in talking about your daddy.
yeah,
You
yeah,
feel
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
miss
Don't
me
miss
with
with
all
all
that,
that,
bro.
man.
Like if you gonna be in my mama's life, then, bro, what we got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
I don't know if you want. I know me, man. I feel like stepfathers definitely are due they flowers, bro.
yeah,
Like a lot of them, like they don't really. They kind of get overlooked sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even
Majority.
yeah,
yeah. It's a
majority,
real thing. Yeah,
even by the child who you know what I'm saying who benefited from
yeah,
the father stepping up. They overlook them sometimes because, like you say, the real pops can't do no wrong in their
yeah,
eyes.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like so, but I definitely want to give a shout out to all the stepfathers, the good ones, man, that's out there. They deserve their flowers too. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So don't forget about them on Father's Day.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? As when Father's Day come up, get them step pops,
yeah.
get them boys something nice,
Yes, sir.
man, because
Yes, sir.
they doing their thing.
Yes,
nah,
yes,
for real.
yes. And let me
Mhm.
right on that, man. Because I'm a stepfather, man. Never think that like you said earlier, Apostle. A woman will follow, man. If she got something. A woman will follow if you know how to lead.
Yes, sir.
And it's amazing how you never know who watching you. Me and my wife, man, September. Oh, let me get it right for I had to sleep on the porch. August, man. August be 3 years. You know how it is. Get into a blended family. The kids. You ain't my daddy. But after a while, they
Hmm.
see you walking this thing out.
Yeah,
They fall in line.
yeah.
So my wife, she's like, let me check my husband first. Let me check my husband first.
Hmm.
And the kids be here. They gotta tell him everything. That's how we roll.
Yes, sir.
We won. So
Hmm.
yesterday, unbeknownst to me, I come home and my stepdaughter. She like, man, She knocked on the door first. Tell me why. I need to talk to her. Tell her I need to talk to her. I like, what's on your mind? Well, Sudan's coming up, and I want to go hang for $36. I said, what your mom say? Well, she gonna say what you say. I said, well, you all have a little thing about you getting your hair done. Well, I'm gonna get it done. I said, well, you talk to your mom. You gotta talk to your mom. But that goes to show you, man. When you're doing this thing right, you know, and you ain't trying to be this old brute, and this, that, and other, man.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to what you said earlier. That comes with having godly guidance.
Yes, sir.
Because you got to lead with compassion. And like you say, let the punishment for the crime.
Yeah.
And it ain't always got to be no physical punishment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you got to be a man of understanding too, though.
Yes.
Like
Maturity.
not like you got to be extra super mature because you
Yes.
can't look at it. Being a man of understanding means you understand how you feel about it. You understand how they feel about it. You understand how she feel about it. You got to look at it from all over. So you know what I'm saying. You just got to have your understanding right. You know what I'm saying. Once you get your understanding together, and it, like you say, it's a sign of maturity, then you can pretty much work through anything. Anything can be worked through, especially when everybody on one accord. You know what I'm saying. When everybody on one accord. So yeah, man.
And to all the stepfathers out there, we all go through the same thing.
For
We
sure.
all
man.
going through the same thing.
For real, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, fellas, I gotta get birthday.
Okay, what time is it?
You got 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Go ahead, bring us home.
Well, man, listen, man. I guess we'll jump out this thing, man. I'm gonna play a couple selections, man, as we get ready to unwind. Out this was the song that I miss my father, I miss my daddy. Man. Hey, listen. So, man, listen, everybody that tuned in to Kingdom Radio, man. This is the latest song from J Dab, man. Uh, I miss my daddy, man. Streaming on all platforms. So if it bless you, man, y'all go check it out, man, and most definitely share it with anybody that has lost their father. Yeah. As we get ready to tap out of here, man, y'all been tuned in to the Rapology show with my brother Aswad Muhammad, man, right here on KingdomLifeRadio.org. Man, you've been jamming on I Miss My Daddy by J Dab, man. Anybody that has lost their father, man, y'all make sure y'all tap in and go check it. Check it out, man, and it will bless you. It will bless you. It will bless you most definitely. Amen. And so, Dr. Muhammad, man, as we get ready to tap out of here, man, close us out. Take us to the high.
Y'all better find the words I want to say. I will drop y'all location. Y'all everything on
Man,
time.
once again, man, I'm Chaz the Barber, also known as Face the Barber, Face underscore the Barber on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So, co-host the Barber Talk Worldwide podcast. You know what I'm saying? Cutting out of Royal King Cut Studio, 8951 Ruby Street, Houston, Texas, 77061, Suite 4C.
I, I,
Come holler at me.
I come holler at you anytime. Or do I
Any,
get a appointment?
nah,
Do I get
you,
an
you
appointment?
come holler at me anytime. My bro right here say appointments only.
Yeah. Yes, sir. What you got, Mikey?
Man, I appreciate this opportunity. Man. It was a good conversation.
Yes, sir.
Really
Most
Good
definitely.
conversation.
Yes, sir. So we're going to do it again sometime, man. A part two or something, man.
Yeah, we need
But
to.
until then, this has been the Rapology Show. Along with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We'll see y'all again next month.
Peace. Blessings.
Yeah.
Really.